Well, last week we did not have an episode, and the week before that we talked about AI and how depressing the world is and all of that stuff. So I really want a happier episode this week. To I've had a pretty just kind of depressing 2 weeks, and I just want to get out of it. So I need this episode to do that for me. So if we
That's a
could,
lot of pressure, but I am in a very similar boat. I've been pretty not amazing the past couple weeks, but I did wake up feeling better today. I was given the amazing gift of an extra hour of sleep, and I've spent the day feeling grateful for that. And like I want to capitalize on it and use it as a little wave to ride back to sanity and healthy habits and whatnot. So I'm feeling kind of optimistic, if that's
okay,
helpful.
good, good. Yeah, I think just in the last 5 minutes I've decided to be more optimistic. So that's nice.
Well,
All right,
as
so
long as you get there.
our new sort of template for these episodes is to talk about our weeks. So you can start with today and go backwards, or you can start at a week ago, or you can just start talking.
Okay, well,
How was your week?
I'll take that as how was your last 2 weeks since it's been that long.
Yeah,
I got sick, which wasn't anything horrible, but got sick, and that always throws me off a bit. And I fell off my skateboard and busted up my knee, and that was a bit of a bummer. I know it sounds stupid, and it is, but it was a pretty solid fall. I was worried for a little bit that I broke something, and I seemingly didn't, but it was enough to where I was questioning it. So between those couple things, I started feeling a little not so great. Spent one
were
day.
you
Huh?
were you doing a cool trick or something, like trying to land a?
If you would call a cool trick riding around in the rain on a tire with no tread. So that turned out to be a bad idea. Anyway, mistakes were made, lessons were learned, hopefully. Uh, but it kind of busted me up a little bit, took the wind out of my sails. I spent one day. I checked the day after, but I bought a new game on Steam, my Steam Deck, and then I checked the day after and saw that my playtime for that day was 12 hours, which is a pretty long
I-
stretch for one
What game?
day.
What
It's
game?
called Kingdom Classic. I think it's called, the name is Kingdom. It's like this 10-year-old game. It's free on Steam. It's it's hardly
You
worth
played it for
explaining.
12 hours and
Yeah, I
still
played it
found
for
it.
12 hours, pretty much straight through. I don't think I really moved much. And part of it was just fun. It's this little kind of kingdom builder thing. You ride your horse out and collect little resources and run back and build up your defenses and try and survive the night. It's very fun. Really beautiful little piece of art. Um, but also I was just feeling kind of down, and so it sort of sat there for a good 12 hours. And I didn't regret it at the time, but I think it did help kick me into this lifestyle of, you know, being a bit of a blob. And then
Right.
the
Okay.
the depression hit a couple days later, kind of a delayed
Okay. Perfect.
response. Yeah. So
Um, I've been think I've been eyeing this one game for a little while. I don't really ever play games. You
I
know
was
this, but
tell what
it,
game? That's a wild thing to hear from you.
well, like 2 years ago or something, I decided to play a game for the first time since StarCraft 2 came out. Um, it was
16
it
years
was
ago,
a
something like that.
yeah, it was a Lovecraft game, like, one of those Lovecraft games. I forget what it was called. It was like okay, I totally forget the title. Yeah, same problem. I guess we don't bother learning the titles, but it was pretty fun. But I've been eyeing this other one called like Sunken City or something.
Sounds
Um,
familiar. I don't think I've
yeah,
played it.
I don't know. It looked cool, and I keep getting emails about how it's on sale, so I might check that out. But anyway, uh, yeah.
I think games are amazing. I love them. It's a lot of gems out
So,
there.
oh, I have to ask you since we're still on your week. Were you on Reddit at all?
Hmm. I
Because that was your thing 2 weeks ago that you said you weren't going to be
Right.
using Reddit.
I disclosed to you every time I opened Reddit. I it's so ridiculous. It's ridiculous because it's a solved problem that I just managed to unsolve and then forget. So I opened Reddit instinctually. I think this was the day after we did the podcast. I just opened it and I'm just staring at it. And then it just hit me like, what the hell are you doing? My only goal for the whole week was to not do this. What is happening? So I immediately closed it. It was probably open for a total of 5 seconds. And then not 20 minutes later, I just did the same thing. Like, better open Reddit. Like, what the hell am I doing? And then I told you about it. I came totally clean. But what's ridiculous is that I have a little thing on my computer that blocks it and makes it really annoying for me to be able to get to Reddit. So if I really need to or really feel like a degen, I can, but it prevents that from happening where I just do it mindlessly. And I'm just sitting there thinking, like, why did I ever turn that off? What was I thinking? Of course, this was going to happen. So I really didn't browse it at all that day. And then I think I had sort of a moment of weakness, sort of forgot, but not really later on. And that again only lasted for a minute or two. And I told you about that as well.
Okay. Yeah, you did confess these. But since those incidents, you've been pretty clean.
I did have so my 12 hours on the couch with a busted knee, feeling sick, was last weekend, and that kind of kicked off this week, which has been uh less pristine and less something I want to
'Cause
talk about. Not
I haven't gotten
horrible.
any confessions this week.
Well, the confessions were for a week. It wasn't for the rest of my
Oh,
life.
I thought it was indefinite,
Well, it should have
but
been
okay.
because I've spent probably honestly total probably like 2 hours on Reddit this past week, maybe 2.5.
And do you regret that at all? Do you
Yeah,
think
of
that was a
course I
good
do. It makes
decision?
me feel disgusting. What, what are we talking about here? Of course it
Yeah.
does.
Well, I've been posting on Instagram every day and and doing the YouTube stuff. And I've been decently okay. I will only give myself decently okay for not getting like too
Yeah.
involved in them. But after we talked about Reddit 2 weeks ago, I was like, oh yeah, Reddit. I should post one of my pictures on Reddit that did good on Instagram. And I posted it, and for the next couple days, like I found myself, checking to see how it was doing, and then just scroll, and I was like, God damn it, no. So I would exit out of that. But it almost sucked me back into Reddit world because I had a Reddit problem probably like last year or something.
Yeah.
Or I mean, multiple times in my life I've had a Reddit problem, but I've gotten away from it for a long time, and this like almost sucked me back in. So it almost went to me.
It's funny.
Um,
A couple days ago I watched this pretty long video essay type thing from CoffeeZilla. It's like a big time YouTuber. And it was on gambling and how sports betting has largely become either overtly legalized or just loopholed enough to where it's practically legal in the United States. And it's being pretty embraced by sports leagues and everything. And essentially the moral of the story is that for many people it's a huge problem. It creates this illusion of having this opportunity to make money, but really it's extremely predatory. It extracts lots and lots of money from people who don't have money to lose. It pretty much relies on problem gambling, and it's incredibly dangerous and detrimental to a lot of people, in particular younger men like my demographic. And the rate of suicide is extremely high. It's this terrible thing. So I'm watching this and I'm thinking, sounds pretty fun. Maybe I'll
yeah.
check that out. And it took like this, like, I don't, it's like a call to the void type of thing where just part of you is going, yeah, that's horrible. That's the worst thing ever. And there's other part that's like, could
Let's
be
try
fun.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, gambling sounds fun. There's
Yeah. I think it is
uh,
fun, objectively. That's
yeah,
at least
yeah.
why people start doing it. I don't think it's why they keep doing it, but yeah.
Um okay. Oh, aren't you supposed to write a new blog post
Hmm.
soon? Or
Yep.
should be doing that right now?
Technically, 2 weeks ago, I said, I'm not going to do it that week, but the following week, I would commit to it and do it. But we didn't do a podcast that week. So, whatever stupid, infantile part of my brain makes these decisions was like, well, technically, didn't commit to it. So, don't have to do it. And so I didn't do it.
Okay. All right. Well, ask me how my week was, and then you can
Okay.
you can feel better about
Yeah,
yourself.
I'll leave myself there. We'll come back to me. Uh, how was your week, or really 2 weeks?
It was pretty similar. I honestly think us talking about AI made me
Mm,
it threw me off. It just sort of sucked me back into the world that I had done a really good job avoiding,
sorry.
and it made me depressed about everything, especially art. But not it does it's not just art. It bleeds into everything. Um, so I'm still trying to recover from that, but I don't know. I don't know
Can
what the takeaway is there. Just not talk about it ever. Look the other way,
can I
you know?
interject one thing about my own
Yes.
feelings here? I
Yeah.
Like I said, I fell off my skateboard, hurt my knee, and that like threw my life out of whack. I got a minor cold that threw my life out of whack. I'm at a point now where I can I can live a good life and have good habits and feel generally satisfied with the way I'm conducting myself. I think it's possible. I've been through long periods of time, years, where that wasn't happening at all. So it felt like that wasn't even on the table. But it is now. I can do it, which is great. But it feels like it's so precarious that virtually anything will just knock me out of it. And that's better than not being able to get there at all. But it also is kind of frustrating and pathetic that, a minor illness that happens fairly often will completely knock my life out of whack and it takes me weeks to get back, or the predictable fall off of my one wheel that I was expecting the whole time. It happened and it wasn't that bad, and still like, oh no. We talked about
Yeah.
AI that threw your life into chaos, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just wish I was a little less fragile. I think that's kind of my next goal, is to try and get to the point where I'm a bit more resilient to the things that tend to knock me out of whack.
Well, I don't want to talk about AI again, like I said,
Yeah,
but
I
the
don't either.
but like it's interesting how much like those bigger concepts, filter down to all of your daily decisions.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it went into YouTube for me. Like I actually, I've been trying to alternate between doing the drawing and then making a YouTube video, doing the drawing, YouTube video. And I was able to do the drawing, but I'm about a week behind, just like you.
Okay.
I pushed it. I just kept pushing it, and I did manage to finish the drawing, but I was hoping to have a YouTube video recorded and uploaded today,
Can we see
and
the drawing?
I have not even recorded it. Mm.
Can we see the
Can
drawing though?
can we see the drawing?
Is that allowed?
Um, yeah, I posted it on Instagram.
Okay, well, it's definitely allowed.
But yeah, in fact, I should probably get in the habit of just showing them on here. But
I mean,
yeah, so can't hold it close because
ooh, I wish you could hold it close. It seems kind of detailed. That looks cool. Almost. Oh, oh, yeah, there it is. Wait, no, hold it back. It's a weird
yeah,
reveal. I
it's a
mean,
horrible. Okay, that's not gonna
we
get
got a
me out.
couple glimpses as the focus like passed through the plane of the page.
Anyway, I finished my drawing, and I want to have a YouTube video out, but I did not get that even started. I think the AI stuff just made me depressed about YouTube, and not just AI, but I feel like my whole model of YouTube is fractured right now. And this is one thing that I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
This is what I need therapy on. Um, my ambition has just dwindled to basically nothing with YouTube, and I'm not. When I was first getting into it, I was so ambitious that when we would talk about it, and it's like that's not sustainable. You
Mhm.
can't just obsess about it constantly. That's not sustainable. So I tried to come up with a a routine that made it sustainable where I'm not getting obsessed with it. It's just like a thing I work on routinely and, focus on the day to day, whatever, finish one and then work on the next one and whatever and just keep it very regimented. And that felt or feels healthy and good, but because there's no ambition in it or because it's so simple and so um sustainable, it feels like it's not uh it feels like there's no accomplishment there. And so it feels like I'm not going anywhere and it feels I don't know. I just started to feel kind of depressed about it, if we're being totally honest and if I'm being a little whiny bitch about it. Um yeah. I, my more I mean, this is the totally cliche part. The stuff that I worked really hard on is not my best performers. The stuff that I just kinda sorta I wouldn't say half-ass it, but the stuff I spend a lot less effort on does better. And because it's, like, rewarding the opposite thing that I want to be rewarded, it's starting to feel, like, just kinda messed up, and I'm starting to get the the critic voice in my head because and it doesn't even feel it's not driving me crazy, and I don't feel terrible about it, and I'll record my next video, and it'll be fine,
Yeah.
but, um, for each video that I put out, I ask people specifically for feedback, and I feel like I've learned a lot from all of that, and I've tried to improve with all the feedback that I get in every video, but it also starts to add up to where I start thinking about my next one, and it's like, "Wait, the production value was too high on the last video, now I have to lower it." That was the case for my last video. Um, but wait, now it's too boring, now I wanna up the production, but I don't have time for that because that's not sustainable, and I was supposed to be working on drawing, so it's like, I just hear all these different voices in my head, and it affects my decision making, and it's it's like it puts the brakes on all the ambition. Um, and well, as you can tell how I'm describing it, it's just kind of fractured. My idea of YouTube is just not real clear. I'm not growing, at a super fast rate. It doesn't feel like nothing about it feels super exciting right now. It just kind of feels like you can put out another video, it'll be fine. It won't be great. You know, you won't be super happy with it. It'll just be whatever. And you're not going to do anything ambitious. So it's like, what's the point? And then, like, I don't know. That's just, I've just kind of gone all over the place with YouTube stuff recently. Um,
I was talking with a
yeah.
friend of mine last week, and I was basically just whining about all kinds of stuff, saying how I was really frustrated because of work and because of this and the whatever, and just being annoying and whiny. And I'm just creating these narratives of why I'm frustrated and why I think I ought to feel the way that I do and whatever. And he was great and listened and offered advice and made active listening noises and stuff. But as I'm talking about this, I'm looking out the window and I'm just looking at the rain and the darkness. And it occurred to me that's why. It's because it was all sunny and now it's gross and rainy. And I'm just making up stories to explain why I feel the way that I do. But objectively, if you look at it, it's really no better or worse than it was a month ago, where I was very happy and excited about things. I really was just feeling bad. And rather than accepting that I feel bad, probably because of the change in weather, because this is a thing that happens every single year at the same time consistently, I had to try and make sure that it was some kind of logical thing I could point to and think about and say, yeah, it's that. I'm not saying that is the case with you or that we shouldn't talk about YouTube, but I would like to at
Probably is.
least
Yeah.
pose that as an idea and that maybe it doesn't have as much to do with what's in front of you as it feels like. So just entertain that thought for a second. Anything to that?
Oh yeah. No, there definitely is. I have some personal stuff going on right now that does not put me in the best of moods. Um, it just general stuff, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, would definitely impede on my excitement for YouTube
Right.
right now. And so there's yeah, just stuff like that. And the other thing is that even though I've only been spending about 10, 15 minutes on Instagram every morning to do the posting,
Yeah.
um, which is going pretty well. And like I post it and then I delete the app, which has been pretty great. But even though it's just that little amount of time, my
Mm.
brain has started to think more about Instagram than it has YouTube. And so YouTube itself is losing some significance in my brain, even though it's so minimal, or I thought it was so minimal. I think that is a factor. That's the only new factor I have on the table right now that's changed in the last, I don't know,
Mm.
6 months that I've been YouTube. I think it's the introduction of Instagram. It's like it it's competing with it, and I think it's winning. So that's interesting. Um, I think I just need to make a YouTube video and stop whining about it.
Well, I also would pose the question, are you ever happy? Are you incapable of being happy?
Well, when you say it like that, it
I'm
sounds
not
so
trying to
sad.
be snarky and obnoxious, but as you're debating YouTube and saying, well, I'm not being as ambitious, but when you were being ambitious, it was all consuming and unsustainable. And with your site, like, I'm super, super familiar with that. I have the same exact struggle in all areas of life. I do stand by the observation that maybe it doesn't have that much to do with YouTube in particular, and it's just a concrete thing you can look at and kind of tell yourself stories about. So I do believe that, but also, if there is just a fundamental trade-off between going super hard and throwing your heart, soul, and body into it to the point where it's destroying you as a person, but big reward, potentially big payoff, whatever, versus the kind of milder, more moderate, but sustainable thing that isn't going to, pound you into the ground. Well, they are different ends of a spectrum. You can't have them both at the same time, or at least we haven't figured out how. And so you can't be missing the other end of the spectrum, the one that you're not on, and think, I'm not being as ambitious. And then, this isn't sustainable. Like, it's just, you can't have both.
Yeah, so to answer your question, am I even capable of being happy? I That is a question I often ponder. And the
I wasn't trying to
honestly,
make that too too pointed
it,
or
well, you can answer the same thing. But for me, I think the answer is no. I cannot. Like it is impossible for me to reach the inner peace nirvana. That just stays that way forever. I mean, I don't know if anybody can, but
well,
for all of this creative stuff, the thing we're always trying to get to is, the most sustainable, repeatable, wonderful thing that you just repeat forever and everything's wonderful and great. Um, and I think this is just the pattern that happens with every routine that I get into, or e- every sustainable pattern that I repeat, is that it just kind of gets, I don't know, if it's too doable and too easy, it just feels wrong to me.
like you must be
I don't
suffering.
Yeah, in order to feel like I'm accomplishing something, which is definitely not a good thing.
It's
There's
also
something wrong.
illogical, right? I mean, you could
Yeah, logical.
you could whack yourself in the leg with a hammer and it'd be really hard and you'd hate doing it and you'd feel like you did a hard thing when you were done, but it's not going to do anything for you. It just feels hard.
Correct. But for some reason, I don't know, my subconscious craves the difficulty and the challenge, but I don't think it's always necessary. I don't It's not a thing that I need, like, I should be able to be happy with having a healthy, normal lifestyle in which I just regularly produce stuff. Um,
I I think part of what I believe here, actually, I had this conversation with our other brother a couple nights ago because he was in a similar spot, struggling, feeling frustrated with life and goals and everything. So it's just funny that it's a pretty universal place that we get to. But my my assertion here is that sooner or later the sun will die and consume the earth, and all of this will become dust and we'll just
this
be
is often
done.
your to the things.
I think it is an important thing. It feels very relevant. And that's not to say nothing means anything and you should never try, but you should at least remember that we tell ourselves these stories, we create meaning, we say doing art is the most important thing for me right now, and if I fail to do that, then I've failed at life and whatever, and so I must force myself through this suffering. And I know I've used this example, but I look at my dog who is very happy, and he wakes up and he is just as excited to eat dry dog food off the carpet as he was 8 years ago. It's the most amazing thing in the world. And then come 4 o'clock, he's just as excited to eat dinner. He loves going on his walk. It's amazing. And then when he's tired, he goes to bed. Like he just every single day, he's just he's just balls to the wall, being a dog, having a time. And he's not gonna change the world and make life so much better for all the dogs on earth. He's not like he doesn't have those goals. He's just gonna live his life out and it's gonna be great. And that's amazing. That's so cool. I'm envious of my dog. He goes hard and he's got it right. And we're the ones who have to create meaning and stories and everything. And that's not, again, I do that too. I still have all of these things that I care about that I want to do. I feel bad when I don't. I'm going to be upset if I never achieve any of the dreams and goals that I have. Everyone should chase their dreams for sure. But also, it's okay to just like go through life and do some fun stuff and learn about some things and make some things and talk to people about it. Like that's cool. That's actually a great life. So just chill a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I have been chilling. And,
Have you?
yeah, I have been. I
Okay.
mean, I've been able to slow down and focus on a drawing and then focus on a YouTube video, and, like, I've been chilling for, like, 3 months now, 2, 3 months,
Yeah.
and, now the chilling is starting to get to me.
Okay. Okay.
I think, or, I'm just spinning stories here, but, um, you're totally right, and I don't think I'm totally blind to that. I feel like I have been chilling. I've been chilling.
Uh,
Um,
to be clear, I am talking to myself at least as much as I am talking to you. Like
oh, no,
this is my
and
own
I
struggle as well.
this feels like a complex problem or whatever. It feels super fancy. There's something deeply flawed in me or whatever. But it really could just be as simple as I haven't been consuming as much material that gets me excited about the thing that I want to do. So I haven't been watching a lot of YouTube videos recently that, I really like. I haven't
Yep.
been getting sort of inspired by YouTubers, like, watching Casey Neistat little videos and getting excited about his camera work, or
Mhm.
watching other people, just getting excited about filmography and whatever, just stuff like that. I haven't been watching any of that, and so my inspiration is it dried up. Like, I've been neglecting that income of new exciting things that get me excited to do it myself. And, I started, um I started watching Twin Peaks: The Return, which has been
Ooh,
on my to-do list for years.
interesting.
Uh, and so I've been watching that recently, and I was watching it today. I watched, like, 3 episodes today, and I was just thinking, "Oh my god, this is what's been missing from my life." It feels
Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks, I fucking David Lynch. Um, there's sometimes, like, I Twin Peaks is not the most entertaining show ever. It's a show I get upset with often. I'm like, "Jesus Christ, David, can we please cut this scene a little shorter?" Like, do we really have to watch this couple argue back and forth about the same thing for, like, 20 minutes? Or do we really have to look into the cosmos for an hour? There's, like, an episode where it's just the most abstract nonsense, and I'm watching it, and it's just like, I'm just waiting for it to be over. But then there are these times when Twin Peaks or David Lynch just hits this, like, perfect, perfect insight into the creative vortex of the I don't know how to explain it. The Somehow the balance in all of Twin Peaks just builds up to these perfect moments that stay with me. And I went for a run today. It's like a run walk that just took a
Oh,
very long
that's
time. But
awesome.
I'm
Nice.
I'm walking I'm walking through the woods, and I'm playing music from Twin Peaks, and it's just like this perfect dream world. And it's like, "Oh my god, this is a glass of, life water that I really needed." Income of inspiration, and it started to fill me with feelings of wanting to write more about my stories and wanting to do video stuff and, like, YouTube and whatever, and it's very inspirational. And so sometimes I think, with me getting depressed about, "Oh, I don't wanna post on YouTube," or whatever, it can really just be as simple as, I need more inspiration. And my brain is stupidly going to things like, Reddit, or just my phone, or whatever. It's going to things that are not inspiring. I'm wasting my precious life on stupid things instead of Twin Peaks. Um,
Yeah. I
yeah,
Is it the new season good?
it is everything.
Okay.
It's I I am loving it. There are many times I'm watching it and I think, "Why the hell am I watching this?"
Yeah.
And, like,
But
there's other
it's Twin
times I
Peaks
watch.
though. I mean,
Yes, yeah, it's Twin Peaks,
okay.
but it's dark. Like,
Okay.
the first, the early Twin Peaks is like, "Oh, this is fun '90s stuff." This is fucking dark, and I love it.
Okay.
Um, and it is weird, and yeah, yes, I recommend it, but it's not for everybody.
Okay. Sometimes I get the urge to rewatch Twin Peaks and then instead I go watch Dual Spires from Psych.
Also wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah, they had
That's what
like
got me into it.
almost it's like 7 or more people from Twin Peaks in the episode. It's
I
pretty
think I
amazing.
consider it, like, Twin Peaks canon,
I
like,
think
it's
it should be. Yeah,
yeah.
the Cinnamon Festival and everything. Yeah, I think it should be.
When I watched that episode, I had no idea what Twin Peaks was, but I heard the intro from Julie Cruz, and I just thought, "What is this? I have to know, like, what it is,"
Yeah,
and then, yeah, that's what got me into Twin Peaks, but yeah, anyway.
nice. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So I get your point, and I completely agree. I totally well, not totally different, somewhat different scenario. I was thinking about uh the potential of my wife and I are gonna have to move at some point. Um, you know, just to somewhere in town, but it means packing it all up and moving, and we have
It
accumulated
means
a bunch of crap.
your background will change for the first time in
Yeah,
5
hard.
years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be something. I'll see how much I can maintain, but yeah, be a whole thing. But so I'm thinking about moving. We slash I have a lot of crap, and there's this whole process of having to get rid of it, and you know, that's just a whole thing. A million different micro decisions to make and whatever. And so I was just thinking about, oh my gosh, I know that I can do it, done it before, but you have to be in the right mindset. You have to have this just callousness where you just destroy everything you own and decide you don't care about it and you're going to just throw it all into the dump. And it takes a certain mindset. So I started watching YouTube videos on minimalism. PewDiePie actually has this great recent video about his minimalism, and he talks about Diogenes, the Greek philosopher guy who like lived without everything, and how whatever, it doesn't matter, but it's just kind of glorifying minimalism and getting rid of any of the excess. And I'm just thinking, this is perfect. I don't actually really believe this exactly, but this is what I need in my head. So I need to just self radicalize myself and watch other people talk about how this minimalism aesthetic is so amazing and so freeing, even though it's mostly a rich person thing. I just need it though, because I got to figure out how to get rid of stuff. So might as well just gaslight myself into thinking that this is great and the way to live, and it's going to lead to happiness and whatever. It's perfect. It's a little bit more cynical than what you're talking about, but it's the same thing. Like I think you have to see things, to put them in front of you through YouTube, through watching Twin Peaks, whatever, that just makes you feel like, oh, that I want that. I want to be an artist in the way that David Lynch is an artist. And what is pretty amazing about David Lynch and his class of artist is that clearly he was not terribly concerned with what would keep the viewership from dipping during the episode or competing with what
Not
else
at
was on
all.
network TV, right?
Not at all. Yeah.
And maybe to the point of it being a little bit excessive, even for someone who does appreciate that kind of thing. Like you said, sometimes you're like, dude, can we please just move on? This is so insane. But he cared about the art, and there is something beautiful about that. Like that is the truth at the bottom of all of this. You look at Reddit and YouTube and Instagram, and there is this sort of proxy where there's a certain number of people who have liked your art and comment on it, and you want to grow and see success. And like it is related to the quality of the art, but only somewhat tangentially. Like it clearly there's people who are not making great art who have huge followings, and people who are who don't. In I mean, making money is nice, having people like you is nice. Those things matter for sure, but ultimately, you're not doing this because it's the shortest path to making money or getting famous. You're doing it because you want to make a great piece of art. And I think just trying to reorient yourself on that and just literally doing it for that reason and nothing else. That's kind of what you have to center on.
Well, okay. Can we talk about that for a second? Because
Yeah.
about a month ago or 2 months ago, we were having almost the same conversation, but in the opposite direction, which was I'm making YouTube videos. I'm not making movies. So I need to focus on, what works for YouTube because that's the platform you're on.
Yeah.
And I still agree with that. Um, but talking about David Lynch, and I've had these same thoughts, everything you just said, this like what I've been thinking.
Yeah.
But at the same time, David Lynch isn't a 100% abstract, pure, artist in the sense that he still is working with constraints. And he's not
Mhm.
the only one, making this stuff. It's a whole crew that makes Twin Peaks, but he's sticking to, episode length episodes. He's bound by, the season. There's 18
Mhm.
episodes in the season. So he's got a season, he's got episodes, and he stays within that 45 minutes. It's not just like he makes the art and it goes on forever, or it's short. Like, he still is working with constraints. So I don't know. I would love to ask him. Um, but yeah. I've had a hard time trying to balance that in my head. Is like, how much do you consider other people versus how much do you just go batshit crazy? I don't know. I've been leaning on the batshit crazy side.
Well,
You know.
it, I think that there are there are things like that for everything. It could be art, it could be anything. Like just the simplest. Take a single project. Maybe it's you trying to work on a drawing, or it's me trying to build something that I want to put out there. Right? Like there is a fundamental trade-off between how much effort you put in to try and bring the quality up to something very high versus how long it takes and you getting this thing out the door. Like those are just fundamentally at odds. You can do a drawing in 30 seconds, you can do a drawing in 3,000 hours, and there's pros and cons to both, but you just have to decide where on that spectrum do I want to be. And at some point you just got to call it and you got to be happy with it. But that is the hard part. That is one of those things that is fundamentally challenging, and there's never ever a world where it's not. You just have to deal with those trade-offs and be okay with it. And I think that is just one of the hard things. Like you're working on art, you could lock yourself in your basement. Well, you don't have a basement. You lock yourself in a room and work on art and just make something that you think is the best piece of art ever. And literally no one ever sees it and it never connects with any other human being. And I think that's not really the goal. You could also just do whatever you think is going to get you views on YouTube, draw busty anime girls, just like pure pandering, pure fan service, trying to get views. That's not going to be what you want either. You have to just kind of find the line somewhere of, I do want to connect with people. I want to put the effort into making videos and everything, but I respect the art. I want to do something that I care about, that I think is interesting. It's just hard. It's always going to be hard. It's a fundamental trade-off.
Okay. Wonderfully said. Can we go back
Yeah.
to the idea that you need to watch these YouTube videos on minimalism in order to start thinking like a minimalist or whatever, so you can get rid of
Yeah.
stuff? I think that's exactly what I'm talking about with watching Twin Peaks in the first place. Filling my head with ideas that get me excited and are new and novel, right? I've never seen Twin Peaks: The Return until now.
Mm.
I'm watching it and it's exciting. It gets me fired up to do my own ideas that feel similar sometimes, not always. Um, and then also, if I just pick up an art book, which I do less and less these days, which is a shame, and I can see the effects. If I just pick up an art book and start looking at it, I get excited about doing art like that in a very healthy, wonderful way.
Yeah.
And I think that is one of the biggest issues with how much time we spend looking at trash online instead of looking at wholesome, wonderful things. Um, I don't know. That's just a thing that I've been thinking about this week.
Well,
It looks like you
okay,
have too.
so
It's just filling your
let's
brain like that day with stuff that gets you excited.
yeah. Well, let's take it one step further. Let's thinking about the next week. What can you do, like, concrete wise, to lean into this philosophy? I mean, is it just continue to watch Twin Peaks? Great, if that's the case. I mean,
Yes. Okay. So for me, and think about it for you. For me, I want to record my next YouTube video on a Wednesday, which is what I've been doing, and then release it next weekend. So yeah, I'm a little behind because technically it should have been done this weekend, but I'm not gonna freak out about that. I'm just gonna push it to the next week. So I need to record on Wednesday and publish on Saturday or Sunday. And in that time, I don't actually want to be thinking about drawing. I don't want to be thinking too much about writing story or whatever. I just want to be thinking about the YouTube video and focus on that completely and sustainably and wonderfully and healthy. So, yeah, I want to finish watching Twin Peaks because it gets me excited about
Cool.
telling stories through film. And I also should probably watch some YouTube videos on other stuff that's similar to what I'm doing and just try to absorb it and get excited about it and get excited about YouTube again is what I need to do. So, yeah. And for you, you need to write a blog post by next week. And
I
you also need to get excited about not wasting all your time playing a game. Not saying it's totally wasted. It can be wonderful to play a game. But
right.
yeah, you need to get excited about, getting off the couch again, right?
Yes. So I think I have 4 things I'm going to commit to, which seems a little bit ridiculous, but they all kind of synergize, I think. One, as I said, I did pretty good with Reddit the previous week or 2 weeks ago, but this last week was a little bit gross. And as a result, I feel a little bit gross. So I want to,
Okay, I'm raising my hand. Can you just not use Reddit anymore? I mean, can we see this as like Reddit is toxic sludge in your life? Is it giving you anything good at all?
no, that I've been
Get rid of
very
it.
upfront about this. It's a problem. I have this sort of low level addiction to internet garbage, and I've steadfastly refused to get sucked into TikTok and Instagram and all of those things. And so Reddit is the only site that still lets you in and still lets you consume the
So,
trash without having an account. It's
so you may as
horrible. I
well,
hate it.
yeah, you
This
may
is
as well
not
be on
news.
TikTok or whatever. It's
Well, yeah, but that seems like a not better move, right? I'm not on Twitter because Twitter doesn't let you in if you don't have an account, and I don't have an
I'm
account.
just saying
I can't get into any of the trash anywhere else.
I'm just saying Reddit is not a pedestal. Like Reddit is just as awful as everything else, and I know this from
No, I know,
experience.
I know, I know. I'm not it's my point is it's the only one that I haven't been able to cut off completely.
Just
And
cut it off. Cut it.
unfortunately, there are some times when I need to see something there, like for finding a software pro. I recognize that's probably more cope than not. Look, I am being completely upfront about this. It's gross. I hate it. It's bad for me. There's virtually nothing about it that is redeeming, especially in the year of our Lord 2025. 10 years ago, the story might have been different.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
I was thinking about in the last few days, and big, big things. I wonder if we can start gearing up to cut off at the head some of these addictions or horrible things in 2026. Can we just start thinking about the things that we just accept as
Okay.
immovable or
I'm
unchangeable?
intrigued. Yeah. Okay.
I'm talking about reading the news or Reddit or whatever. That
Yeah.
I do plenty of toxic things, but I can't think of a single one to point to.
Okay.
Um,
Conveniently. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So maybe
I'm
we
yeah.
start thinking about these bigger things
Okay.
and then plan to cut them off in 2026
Okay. I like that. That's
brutally
ominous,
and permanently
intriguing.
for
Right.
yeah.
Okay. Uh,
This we can start building it up and making it exciting.
okay. Right. Teaser for the big changes coming next year. Well, okay. So number one, just to come back to this week, I'm going to not browse Reddit, and I will commit to telling you if I do. Sorry that you have to be the guy who gets
I am
annoying
happy to
DMs
be that
about.
guy.
All right, I know you are. So I'm gonna do that again for this week. I will tell you if I get on Reddit. 2, I'm going to wake up at 7 a.m. tomorrow. I recognize we've long since covered this, but getting up at a consistent time is an anchor habit that has disappeared for me in the past couple weeks. It also makes me feel gross. I've again been given the gift of the good time change, so I'm going to get up at 7 tomorrow. And as the sun is starting to disappear, it's even more vital to get up with the sun so I don't get uber depressed. That's number 2. Number 3, I'm going to write this blog post. I'm going to have fun doing it. It'll be fun. Got to write the post. Should have done it before. I'm not going to be too worried about that. Do it this week. Great. Number 4, we talked about Reddit for too long, so I forget what number 4 is. It was important. Oh, I need to get re-excited about my projects, my ebook, audiobook project thing. I've just, for partly because I've been a little bit in the dumpster the past 2 weeks, but also because work has been super busy and kind of displaced a lot of stuff. I just haven't really been working on that. And so now it just feels like this thing that's not in front of me anymore, and I'm not thinking about it. So I'm not sure how much I'll get done, but I just want to like get that in front of me again, kind of get re-excited, and that's goal number 4. So up on time, must confess Reddit usage, write a blog post, get excited about my projects.
Real quick, the blog post was for next week, though, right? Like next weekend?
Yeah, by podcast time next week, I
Okay.
must have written and
Perfect.
published the blog post.
That's the same time for me. Okay,
Perfect.
so for me, wait, real quick. In the spirit of being vulnerable or whatever bullshit,
Sure.
I should probably quit drinking.
Okay.
I think I probably drink more than I would like to admit. So yeah, if we're talking big stuff in 2026, I need to figure something out with that. Just
Okay. I'm very on
throwing
board
that
with
out.
that.
Yours is Reddit. Mine might be drinking. Just okay.
Okay.
Um,
Are we fully kicking that off to 2026, or do you want to maybe commit to something for next week?
no, I'm not an alcoholic. I need better practices. Like I need
Okay.
better cutoffs and
Okay. All right.
Anyway, um, I need to put out a YouTube video by next weekend, and that's really all I need to focus on, and that's plenty of work in itself. So yeah, new YouTube video next weekend. That's it for me.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And big stuff for 2026, sounds like.
Yeah, just start thinking about it. You
I
just
like it.
question everything. Question everything. Do we really need smartphones? Do we really need the jobs that we have? Do we really need to live where we live? Do we need whatever? Just question everything.
Okay. I'm also turning 40 next year, early next year, which
Oh yeah, no more waiting on anything.
yeah, I
Let's pull
mean,
the
not to be all whatever midlife crisisy, but it does occur to you like, oh, if I spend 10 more years goofing around doing things I don't want to be doing, well then I'm gonna be 50. I mean, it starts to hit you that this is chunks of your life you're talking about, not just like it's not just procrastinating. It's a little bit bigger than
we
that.
started this one. You were 35, I think.
That's insane if that's
And
true.
now I'm 35. So
Wow.
keep
That's
eventually I'll be 40 and you'll be 45 and then
yeah, just think of this conversation when you're 40 and what that's gonna look like.
yeah, you should figure it out.
Agreed. Okay.
Okay.
Well, we will try, if nothing else.
All right.
All right. So thanks, everybody. Let us know if you're going to do anything this week. We will try really, really hard to be back next week, just like we said we would 2 weeks ago, then dipped, but we'll do better. See you next week.